Okay, so this morning we are looking at strategic planning session for the week. I hope everybody can hear me. So what we are trying to do is to plan our week effectively. But there are some issues I wanted to talk about before we go into the planning, and it starts with what I call frustration of knowledge. Now, what does this frustration of knowledge? Now, there's a part where in the Jewish book, the Bible, where it says too much knowledge makes the heart, I think, sad or something. And what frustration of knowledge means is that, for instance, for us, we've read 2 books in the past 2 weeks. We've watched, I think, about 10 different videos on business growth and personal development. Now, frustration of knowledge starts to creep in, whereby you are reading all the books, you are watching all the videos, you are attending the seminars, and you're asking yourself, how come I'm not seeing any change in my business and my career? And before you know it, that frustration of knowledge starts to set in, whereby it feels like I'm just acquiring knowledge, and I'm not seeing any useful difference in my life or in my career. Now, it's something I wanted to alert us to, because if we are not aware of this thing, it will start to happen to us, where we can say in the past 30 days, we've read this number of books, we've watched all these business seminars and all these business videos, and we're not seeing any significant difference in our career, in our life. And the reason why this thing happens, especially to those of us who run business, who have been doing something over a long period of time, is basically because of something called analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis happens whereby you get new body of knowledge, but you're analyzing it, you reanalyze it, you write out all the key points, but you never get down to actually applying any of these key points or ideas to even test them in the marketplace. And which will be a challenge a lot of us will have, because when I'm running this morning session, I noticed that some of us will read the book, watch the videos, they will just say, these are the key points from watching this video. The video says plan your week, the video says you need to be persistent. But then frustration of knowledge will start to creep in, where you know what to do, but because you've not done any of them, eventually frustration start to come in, and you start to feel that maybe these ideas in all these books, this concept in all these videos, maybe they don't apply to my kind of industry, or they don't apply to my own kind of person. And it's something that we need to be conscious about, because if you don't say in the past 2 weeks, if you can't clearly say in the past 2 weeks I've watched 10 videos, and these are the 5 concepts I have taken out from them that I'm deliberately applying into my business, this frustration of knowledge will start to creep in. And it's why you find out that a lot of people have read hundreds of books. A lot of people have attended loads and loads of seminars. But you look at their life is still where it was before they decided to read these books and before they decided to attend these seminars. Basically, what has been happening is that they've been having this analysis paralysis, whereby all they are looking for is, when is the next seminar coming up? When is the next book coming up? When is the next video coming up? They are just looking up to the next video and not asking themselves, the books I've read, the seminars I've attended, the videos I've watched, which of the principles shared in all these things have I actually applied in my business or in my life? I know that amongst us, all of us, most of us have read that Richest Man in Babylon and finished it. And we say, oh, this is a wonderful book. This is a wonderful concept. But if I ask how many of us now have actually taken out any key point from that book and decided to apply to our own business, you notice that less than 10% of us are doing that. Now, when we now ask, who are those who have actually read this book, Richest Man in Babylon? Everybody will jump out, more than 100% of us. But then the principles in this book, how many of us have actually applied it? In one of the videos, Brian Tracy talked about time management. If we ask now, how many of us have watched the video on time management? Almost everybody will raise their hand. If we now ask, how many of us have actually taken out the time to pick up 1 or 2 or 3 principles from this video that this man shared and have tried to actually apply it, I can assure you that less than 10% of us have actually done that. And because of that, because we are stuck in analysis paralysis and we're waiting for when is the next video coming up, what you find tends to start to happen is that this frustration of knowledge starts to come in, and we now start to tell ourselves, oh, these things don't work in Nigeria, it doesn't work in Africa, it doesn't work in my own kind of context. But if they now ask you, these books that you've read that you say don't work, which of the principles have you actually applied? You can't really say.
When you pray.
And is why is they say that there are people who would they will attend seminars, and you ask them, so how was the seminar you attended? They say, oh, it was a wonderful seminar. The speaker was very, very good. I now say, what points did he share that made him very, very good? He said a lot of things, but he was just too good. So mention 1 or 2 key points that made the seminar very good. What the person failed to realize is that in the process, they just attended the seminar to enjoy what the speaker was saying, and most of them didn't even get any points. As the point was going to one ear, it was going throughout the other ear. Now, a lot of us too, I believe, would have been in the sessions that we've been having, would have been jotting down some key points. We would have been taking notes from the videos. But I'm sure that for a lot of us, what we just do is we take these notes, we jot down these key points, but we never go to them and say, okay, out of these 10 points I gathered during the week, in this coming new week, these are the key points I'm going to apply in my business. And because we fail to do that, we tend to start to find out that we are struggling with getting results in our own business and in what we do. Because we need to understand that it's not principles that change your life. You can know all the principles. The only thing that will change your business and your career are actually the principles you apply to your business and career. So just knowing about the principles is just knowledge. And knowledge is not power. What is power is applied knowledge. A lot of us, okay, because we know it. Yes, you know it, but it won't make any difference between you who know it and the person who doesn't know it. The only person who will see changes in their life is the person who applies what they know. If you know everything and you don't apply it to your business, to your career, it's just like water poured on a rock. It's wasted effort. In fact, the person who didn't even acquire the knowledge is better than you, because they would have used that time you used to acquire the knowledge to enjoy themselves and do other better things. But you spend the time to acquire this knowledge, you spend the time and resources to acquire it, and it's just sitting there in your head or sitting there in the books where you jotted them down. So I want us really this week, let's not just be principal collectors. In fact, there was this funny story I heard some time ago. They said there was this this Christian that decided to invite his Muslim friend to their church. And when they got to the church, I think the Christian friend was doing some program and invited his Muslim friend to join him in the church. So when they came to the church, the pastor preached, shared some principles. At the end of the service, everybody went home. 2 weeks down the line, this Christian friend went to his Muslim friend's office and started to see some significant transformation, the changes this guy was saying. I said, bros, all these ideas that are applying to your this thing, where did you get them from? I said, was it not me and you that attended your church the other time and your pastor was saying so and so? It was the thing that he said that I'm applying to my business. Now, this other guy had been attending this thing with his pastor for years, and his life was still struggling because he was not applying what he has been hearing. So my main point for this morning for each and every one of us is, let's not just be hearers of seminars, just readers of books. Each and every one of us must learn to start to apply these principles in their business. That is the only time we can see the changes that we desire. If we don't do this application, we can never see the changes that we desire and we want to see from what we are doing. So the first thing I want every one of us to do, and that mistake I think a lot of us make during our weekly watching of the video, is that we are supposed to have our big goals. We are supposed to have this, I said everybody should have one big goal you want to achieve for this year in the area of your finance, in the area of your health and wellness, in the area of your family space, in the area of your business and your spiritual growth. Have one big goal for these ones. Now, it's when you have these big goals that I say this year, this is what I want to achieve. Now, everything you do, any new information you acquire must be channeled towards that big goal. On a weekly basis, everything your plan for the week must be a part. It's just like somebody who wants to build a car. And you say, you know what, by the end of this year, I want to build a car. Now you can now say, in building this car, this week, I want to focus on the door of the car. So you are planning for the door of the car. All your work and energy is on the door of the car this week. But you know that that door of the car is still a part of the car that you want to build. You don't just say, okay, I want to build a car by the end of the year, and this week you are molding block. Next week you are maybe you are going to buy sand. You can say, okay, this week now, okay, my goal for the year is I want to manufacture a car. You come this week, okay, because I want to manufacture a car this week, let me focus on the door. So you focus on the door of the car, you make the door of the car. Now next week, instead of going, okay, let me focus on the wheel, you say, you know what, this week now, this new week, I want to focus on molding blocks. You don't sit down to say, okay, what I'm planning for this week, what bearing does it have with this building of the car that I plan to achieve at the end of the year? If we don't look at our goals that way, if we don't set that big goals, and every week we are doing a portion of what we make that big goal realistic, it means that we'll just wake up at the end of the day, we'll see that we've done a lot of little things, but they don't have a way of joining together to, we can say, yes, we have actually built something massive. So it means that for each and every one of us, as you are writing your goals for the week, as you are planning this new week, don't just do it haphazardly. You must say my business goal for the year is probably, let me say your business goal for the year is about let's say 20 million, for instance. You cannot say for us to achieve that this week, I'll focus on training my people on sales and marketing. This week, I'll focus on my people reaching out to our customers, because we know that our sales and marketing are part of the things that will help us achieve more, drive us closer to achieving that target of the 200 million for the year. Now, your family goals, for instance, let's say your family goals is that you want to bring your family together. You can say, you know what, this week, I'll read something on family wellness. This week, I'll go out to get some gifts for my children, or this week, I'll take my family out to learn how to swim. You know that it's something, whatever you are working is towards the big goal of building a stronger bond in your family. I hope everybody's getting the point I'm making, because this is very clear. This is very important if we don't want to have this frustration of knowledge. If we don't want to get to a point whereby we just feel that all we are doing, that we've attended this coaching session for 1 month and we're not seeing any changes in our life. If you don't apply these things, it will be very difficult for you. So which means the first thing that everybody here has to do is, first of all, go back and sit down and look at that big goal. If you don't have a big goal for the year, go back and write it. That for the remaining 5 months of this year, what I want to achieve is so and so in these 5 areas of my life. Well, you now write them out in those 5 areas. You can now come back down on a weekly basis. If possible, those big goals for the year, write them where you'll be seeing them, so that any day Monday you come, you are setting the goal for the week, you are planning the week. You are looking at that big goal and asking yourself, what I'm doing this week, does it align to this big goal? I always share this story that, assuming you are in Lagos and your goal is to travel to Onitsha. If you get to the park and the bus going to Onitsha is an old bus and it's charging maybe 10,000, and in that same park, the bus going to Abuja is 5,000, is a brand new bus. Do you now say because the bus going to Abuja is cheaper and is brand new, you bought the bus to Abuja? The same way too, if you don't clearly say this is where I'm going to, yes, it might be more difficult, I need to focus on it. You find out that little distractions will just take you in directions you never planned to go. And when those distractions get you to their destination, you just look up and say, I plan to get to this place, but this is where I am. How come where I want to go is very far away from where I actually am today? So in writing our goals for the week, I really want us to look at, let it be, our weekly goals must be a portion of the big goals we want to achieve. Let's not just say we are planning to, this week I want to do how to bake cake. Next week I want to learn how to pump tires. They don't have any alignment and they are not taking it to any specific direction. So I want us to go back, and also your goal shouldn't be in your head. It has to be written down. Every morning you come to work, sit down and write out those goals you have for your business and for your career. It's when you have written them down that you can say, okay, every day you are looking at them and they are guiding you. And because you've written them down, you can now compare them to the big goal. Is this day's goal, this week's goal, are they a portion of the big overall goal I want to achieve? We need to look at our planning this year like building a house. If you are building a house, you first say, okay, this is the plan of the house. Now, today we are laying the foundation. Tomorrow we are doing the block work. We are doing the metal work. So everything is tailored towards achieving this plan that you have. Please, I hope that is clear for everybody. And I hope that that at this stage, all of us, especially those on this session, have actually looked at the big goals we want to achieve for this year. What you don't want to happen to you is that you get to the end of this year and they ask you what really did you achieve in the last 12 months, you can't really say these are the concrete things I've achieved. And one of the things I also want you to realize that we've been on this call now for 25 minutes. What each and every one of us here need to realize that this 25 minutes is actually a portion of our life that has passed and has gone forever that we can't get back again. Today is 7th of August, I believe, or 8th of August, which means today is the 8th day of the 8th month of the year. And what we need, most of us have not realized, is that the 8 months of our life have gone and gone forever. What you don't want to do in 24, you just look, life has gone by. And you can't really say these are the tangible things that I have achieved, that I can say, you know what, in exchange for these 12 months going by, I can say that these are the things, tangible things I exchanged the last 12 months with. You know, every day we celebrate our birthday. We must always look at ourselves and say, you know what, I've given out another 12 calendar months of my life. Now, for giving out these 12 calendar months, what can I say? These are the tangible things. I come back from the market. You expect that, yes, I don't have this 10,000 in my pocket anymore, but in exchange for that 10,000 I went out with, I have a bag of rice. I have some meat in the fridge. The same way too, we've gone into the market of life, and for this year, in this market of life of this year, we have spent 8 months in the market of life. It means that when we come back and look at our life, we should be able to say, in exchange for this 12 months of our life, these are the tangible things that. Now, when you start to see that your time and your life is the transaction, it means you now start to take it seriously. It means you don't just engage in this, let me keep acquiring knowledge, let me keep learning, let me just keep watching the videos. Oh, these videos are so wonderful. Oh, these videos are so good. But when they now say, in exchange for the 1 hour you spent on this video every day, what can you really show that I spent 1 hour of my life watching this video? In exchange for it, what tangible difference can you say, okay, because of this video, this is what the reward for watching this video that I can tangibly say. Because if you look at it, we do about the videos we do is between 30 minutes to 1 hour, and we watch about 20. If you do it at, let's say, average of 30 minutes, it means you've given it to about 10 hours of your life. So for this exchange of 10 hours of your life, you must be able to say, these are the things I exchanged my life with. I hope this is really clear to all of us, because we don't want to feel at the end of this coaching session, people start to feel that it's like this thing was not worth it. I can't really say this is what I achieved. I'm just trying to share with you guys what we need to start to do, so that at the end of this coaching session, everybody can say, yes, it was, apart from the psychological feeling of knowing that I did something, I can actually point to 1 or 2 things that I say, you know what, these are the things I achieved for this year. Now, the next thing I also want us to start to do is, for us, for instance, in my company, I realized that there are key changes that we want to make. Though we are a consulting firm, though we work with other companies, I also realized that we needed to get somebody to come and also get us to do what we needed to do. My people, And we still have about 8 more weeks to go. Because I realized that for us to get to where we are going, based on the new knowledge I'm acquiring, that there are some definite things that we need to start to do to get ourselves to where we plan to be at the end of the year. So for some of us too, there are some definite steps that you might need to take, and some of them might need you getting involved with one or two other people. Get people who will help you to take action. One of the things I suggest for each and every one of us is get what I call an action partner. Somebody you say, you know what, this is what I plan to achieve this week. Hold me accountable to these things. It might be your child, it might be your spouse, it might be a friend, but get somebody who you say, this week, these are the things I plan to achieve. Hold me accountable for these things. In fact, to even make it more this thing, you can say, you know what, if I don't achieve this thing, this is 20,000. If I don't accomplish this thing, the 20,000 is for you. It means we really, really need to hold ourselves accountable to achieving our goals this week and this month. So the definite action steps that you must want to take this week, write them down. Find out those who are supposed to be involved in taking those action steps. Don't just how would I put it? Don't just run the week feeling that you have a plan. Somebody must hold you accountable if you want those plans to be very definite. Not just that. Let me give you an example. There's so we made some changes in my organization. There's a company where we're recruiting for, and we say, you know what, that going forward, after we finish an interview for candidates and want to send them to a client, there is an extra form that must be attached to this to the interview assessment and the CV. And we started this new change. We did for 1 week, 2 weeks. Before you know it, because I was not holding anybody accountable, everybody just swapped back to what we were doing before. Last week I just said this thing, in fact, not just here, a client called me that we got these CVs from you people, there was no assessment attached. I had to go back to my people. Doesn't mean that you people have gone back to what we were doing before. So we now need to set up an accountability system. So the same way for you, if you don't have a system that forces you to look at what you are doing and say, this is what will hold us accountable, no matter how wonderful the idea is, no matter how wonderful the goals are, if you don't have an accountability system that checks on you to ensure that you are sticking to your goal, you just find out that you wake up one day and where you are compared to where you want to be are miles away. So I want each and every one of us to take this very seriously. Have an accountability system in your system. Also, I want to talk about something which has to do with us looking at our system, because some of us have been calling me on one-on-one session, and I've been working with them on their business, and it has to do with what I call dreams and dreamers. Sorry, I might need to just get some story, but if you know the story of Joseph in ancient Israel, they say that he dreamt that he was going to rule over his brothers. But before you know it, he was his dreams. You would think that it was from his dreams that he will make his money. But what actually now made him successful was not his own dream, but interpreting the dreams of others. Now, where I'm getting with this is that you must look at your role and ask yourself, what I'm doing now for this company, is there a way I can work with others so that by working with others, I can get bigger results? And not just looking at what you are doing and feel, okay, this is the activity that I'm doing that will get me the result I want. Probably you are a very good marketer, but you are the person, you are the CEO of the company, but your gifting is in the area of marketing. There's nothing wrong in saying, you know what, let me get somebody who will run the operation and be the manager, while me, though I'm the owner of the business, I'll be the chief marketing officer. Let somebody else run the operation while I focus on the marketing aspect. You might be that, okay, my aspect is I'm very good with accounting. Let me now get somebody who will be the chief operation officer, maybe even get an external chairman, so that I focus on the accounting aspect and get it right, very right, such that others now can do other things. It doesn't, just because you own the business doesn't mean you must be the CEO. That's the bottom line I'm trying to get at. You must look at who have, if within my system, are there people who can do these things better? You mustn't call the person CEO. You can still have the title in quote of CEO, but you can have a chief operations officer who oversees the operations of the thing, so that you now, since you know that your gifting is in the area of marketing, you can channel your time and that this thing to the area you are gifted at. At the end of the day, when the business does well, the glory still goes to you as the owner of the business. But it's not because you are the dream, you dream, that you must follow your dream to achieve to what you want. Your talent might be in the space of dreams, but then it might be in the interpretation of the dreams of others. I'm still saying the same way when it comes to us. Don't just say that, okay, I'm the CEO, so as the CEO now my own is to issue instructions. And because of that, your talent of marketing, which is why a lot of businesses stagnate. They start probably as marketers. They start probably in the area of customer service. They are doing it very well. And as the business grows, before they know it, they now move to this position of CEO. And they're in the position of CEO, they are not being as productive as they were when they were marketers. Now, instead of getting a chief operations officer to supervise the operations while they focus on the marketing aspect that they are very, very good at, they withdraw from the marketing aspect, doing the CEO, and because they are doing the CEO, nobody's now getting the kind of result they were getting in the space of marketing, and what happens is that the business starts to go down. So please, each and every one of us needs to also go back and look at our structure. If there's somebody else who can run operations better for you, delegate that aspect to that person. Use this week now, this morning, to look at your team, look at your system, and say, are there people within my organization that can handle some aspect of this CEO for us? There was a company that I had to, we got somebody who was doing the admin and every other thing. And you know what? This guy that was before working from 7 in the morning to about 10, 11 p.m. in the night. Now he goes to his office around 12. So there are aspects of what you are doing now that you can say, you know what? Yes, it's the job of the CEO, but let me now delegate to somebody and supervise the person. So at this other area that I'm very good at, I can give it more attention and more time to. So I said, so I'll stop here so that we can just look at take questions from everybody before going to the week again. But I said, let me just address this area and see if we understand why we are on this platform. Because I wouldn't want anybody to just come here, spend their time, the portion of the month. Somebody who didn't attend it is almost better than you, or almost at the same level with you. So of what benefit now is that to you that you actually attended? So that is what I want us to achieve with this session. So any question before we go to the individuals asking people to plan their week? Any question?